All right. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak a little bit about myself. I'm a brand consultant, author, and speaker. I travel the world and I absolutely love what I do. I keep on evolving, doing a lot of research, understanding the whole entire ecosystem, how AI came to our lives, digitalization, and where do we stand as humans today. The world is getting busy, lots of wars, lots of troubles. And you sit here and you're in this place, in this space, and you think of yourself, well, my name is XYZ, Mark, John, whatever it is. My title is I'm a consultant. Then you have your picture on LinkedIn, you have your title on LinkedIn, and you sit there and you post once a week or twice a week. And if you're in soft skills, if you're a coach, a consultant, and you're a freelancer, entrepreneur, you're waiting for business. And you're thinking, well, I'm posting all this and I'm not getting clients. Then you try your best. Then you go and get another certificate, management certificate, executive programs from Harvard, so forth, so forth. Then you collect about 20 certificates. And then you post them on your website. Then you post them on your LinkedIn. Still no action. Nobody wants to talk to you. Why?
Familiar.
Why? There's a simple answer. Brand. So the question is, why? So you need to have an answer to a why. Why am I not getting clients? Why am I not growing? Why am I have to struggle? I keep on going to networks. Keep on going to events. I have plenty of business cards in my office, all over the place. Then when people come and visit me, they see all these certificates are on me, but no action. The reason is you have not built your perceived value. Your perceived value is depending on Harvard, Yale, your GPA from college, where you work, what nationality, e.g. example I'll give you. These are all built around you. And you think these are your perceived value. No, your perceived value is your skills and your behavior. But imagine this. You spend 35 years of your life if you're 35 years old. And if you're 40 years old, you lived 40 years on this earth and you never discovered your values. And yet you're trying to sell yourself. So how in the world are you trying to sell yourself if you haven't defined yourself? You know what I mean? So the biggest question is, who are you? Most of us will say name, nationality, place we live, but that's not who we are. Your name is given to you. Your nationality is given to you. So who are you? I bet you everyone in this room, in this space, cannot define who they are. So everything outside you're able to define, but you're not able to define yourself. What is that? You've been fed. But you don't have the interior eye to see who you are, what you do. So when you don't know who you are and what you do, how do you expect clients to get engaged with you? Impossible. How do you expect somebody to come on and invite you to speak? Impossible. But when somebody invites you to speak, you're willing to do it for free. Correct? Somebody, I got invited to speak. Oh my God. Oh, please take my picture. I'm going to post it on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and so forth. You get excited. Next time, nobody invites you to speak. But if they do, it's for free. Then you look at your followers. Once your followers increase, you're very happy. You're able to sleep at night. Oh my God, I got 20 people to like me today. I have 50 people to like me today. But unfortunately, that's not where it is. You can have 20 people that like you, 50 people that like you, or 80 people that follow you, you're still a brand. Brand is not defined by how many people are around you. Brand is defined by the idea of who you are and the values you bring to the table. So if you don't know who you are and you don't understand the values you bring to the table, nobody can engage with you. So when you think about one word that defines you, if you spend a lot of time, you'll find that that one word is deep-rooted in you. It's something that you've done every single day of your life. In my case, it would be eccentric. I'm by nature an eccentric person. I love exploring. I love traveling. I'm very loyal to different types of cultures around the world, to different types of people. I'm always up for learning and so forth. But how did I find this? By understanding what my behavior value and my skill values are. But if you allow your skills value to be, for example, I'm a marketing director. I'm a CEO, for example. There's a lot of CEOs, right? I'm a CEO. So Joe is CEO, John is CEO, and Mark is CEO, and Jane is CEO. What happens? Commodity. They're all CEOs. So you want to hire Jane and not Joe. So what are you going to hire Jane on? Her skills. Who agrees? All of you agree skills?
Attitude, experience, many things.
Many things, right? Okay. But is that who Jane is? No. That's part of the sum of Jane, right? So that's about 20% of her perceived value. 80% of the perceived value, she's not aware of it. So in your case, for example, I know where you work today, but if you want to apply for a job, or you decided to be a freelancer after all these years, and you said, you know what, I'm going to do a freelance and I'm going to charge. You have the fear inside of you of what price to put in because you're scared to lose the client, right? Naturally, that's confidence. So you know what your skills are, but you're not confident of what you own. So you're depending on where did you work, what degree you hold, and so forth. Now imagine this within the soft skills, AI today. So the biggest question you need to ask yourself is this. Today, I work, I earn my salary, I have people, network I do business with. Am I a brand? Now, your understanding of brand is famous. That's not what a brand is. Brand is an idea of you with sets of values that people get engaged with. That's what a brand is. A single idea. So when you think of Steve Jobs, for example, we think about innovation. But on the contrary, when we think of Tim Cook, who was also CEO of Apple, we don't think of innovation. So Steve has a set of an idea where he's a visionary and sets of value that I'm willing to listen to him and pay him whatever he wants. Because he stands alone differently than the crowd. But imagine if you're a copy of your neighbor, of your neighbor, of your neighbor, of your neighbor. Why would I work with you? Or why would I work with you? There's no reason. When there's no reason to work with you, I'm not willing to pay you. And if I pay you, it'll be on my terms and not on your terms. So what happens? You're a commodity, just like salt, sugar, and oil when you go to the supermarket and pick any of them. In AI today and digitalization, personal brand is far more powerful, far more important. You would not, allow me to say this, and I'm responsible to what I'm saying. And if I run to you again in the future, remind me. Without your personal brand, you will not survive the next 5 years. And if you do, you'll do the simple tasks and you are going to get paid what the function is and what the head thinks you should get rather than your perceived value. So what happens here? You cannot blame the market. We always blame the market. We always blame the economy. You know how we wake up in the morning and say, the economy is bad. The market is bad. Nothing is bad. We are trained to think it's bad. Our mind is trained to think it's bad, but we're able to create values. We're able to do things, but we don't allow ourselves to do things because our mindset is the biggest challenge for growth. If you have a fixed mindset, if you have a comfort mindset, you'll do what you do every single day the same way because that's where your comfort is. And you wouldn't want a challenge. You're supposed to fly to Congo, right? Okay, she's supposed to, that's a challenge. But she's willing to take that step. There's a learning curve. There's many things that contributes to you. When it contributes to you and you tell your story, your price point goes up. So if you're 100 lira by just staying in this area, and the experience you create for yourself, traveling, engaged with people, and so forth. The moment you present yourself, your presence, the way you speak, body language, your confidence, the eye contact, the mind itself creates a perception of you. And that perception could be between $1,000 to $5,000 to $20,000. But who controls that? You do. Absolutely. I'm standing in front of you. I've been speaking for the last 20 minutes. Would you hire me for $200?
No.
Would you? More? Less?
A little bit more.
A little bit more? That's the perception I created in her brain within the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the power we own. Even in the AI, in the digitalization, it is the value we bring, how we bring it, and how we speak it, how we deliver it, how we engage with people. When you own your narrative, nobody owns you. When you don't own your narrative, I'll tell you what prices, what your salary is, where you're supposed to work. Imagine living the rest of your life when somebody tells you, this is your job, this is your salary, every year 10%, 10%. At 50, your growth rate is like 25% on top from where you started. And then he said, well, I accept it because this was dictated to me and this is my fate. That kind of mindset is a threat. It's the worst mindset you can have, especially right now with AI and digitalization. Everything is going to change. I'm a brand consultant, and part of my job is I'm a futurist. So I work with companies in America and in Europe about what do you predict in the future. You wake up in the morning, everything's changing. The world is going a lot faster than before. And if you work in any business, whether if you're in sales, in marketing, don't buy into the title. You introduce yourself, say, hi, I'm a saleswoman. You just killed yourself there. Why? Because the perception of sales, the word sales itself, has a perception. Director has a perception. CEO has a perception. Doctor has a perception. Everything we have, we put on our shoulders, and our heads has a perception. And that perception, if it holds on you, to change it, it's a nightmare, especially if thousands have met you. And if you don't manage your perception, guess what? The market decides what your perception is. You're under their mercy. That's why your personal brand is far more powerful and needs to be developed well and needs to be managed within a certain space. The second part of the most important part of the space I'm going to talk about, we call it stakeholders management. This is very crucial. So you have a certain mindset you work with, and you're growing a lot faster. Then you move away from your career on a personal level. You're in a relationship with someone who does not even motivate you, completely opposite than you. So at work, you're a star. At your relationship, you're dragged down. What happens to your personal brand? Eventually, collapse, degrade, because you're influenced. All external influences, if we don't manage them, they can be dangerous in our life. If you want to grow, if you really want to grow, and you want to have power, it doesn't matter. You need to manage your stakeholders. You need to be around winners. You need to be around people who grow, who are ambitious, who want to create many things. But if you use a lot of your sentiment, emotions, and you say, you know what, she's a nice girl, oh, he's a nice guy, then you have to compromise a lot in what you've created over the years. And once you compromise and want to bring it back to where you were, it's another lot of work. So ask yourself, how much time do I have on this earth to go back and forth and manage all this? You don't. So when you build your personal brand, it's not about appearance. It's not about where you are on platforms. You also have to manage your space. People you hang out with, people you do things with, compromise if you have to, but do it for charity. Go and volunteer somewhere else. But you have a purpose in life. Let me ask you this. Does anyone in here know what their purpose is? Tell me.
I think my purpose is to empower others.
Absolutely. It shows from what you do. Anybody else?
Lord, I will
Learn and grow.
and learn.
Very good. Anybody else? Purpose? My purpose is to explore. That's why I have a difficulty staying in one place. And I've always been moving. I've always been traveling. Because I want to feed myself as much as I can so I'm enabled. Again, personal brand is also about leadership, right? Do we all know the definition of leadership? That means every CEO, every president is a leader?
No.
Absolutely not. Because a true leader enables others before himself.
Fear.
Pushes others forward before himself. So imagine we don't know the definition of leadership and we exist and we call ourselves brand and we have everything that influences. The power of the knowledge around us in ourselves protects us. And that comes from where? Purpose. Sit down. This is an exercise you can do when you go home today. 3 things you can do very simply. I've done it on a napkin, on a flight from Dubai to Hong Kong. And I was a bit lost, right? And I was a consultant working for Impact. And I was flying between these countries. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just flying everywhere and I'm working for somebody else. Where am I in this space? And every time I finish a job, I'm praised. Wow, great job. We love you, man. We love you, man. Then all of a sudden you go and hang out with them. On a napkin, on a flight, I just wrote this. I wish to become a reputable brand consultant. That's all I wrote. It stuck with me. Absolutely stuck with me. The next few weeks after I wrote that, I said, then what's my purpose in life? Purpose has to be clear, or your vision of yourself would not have a fuel to move forward. So I wrote my purpose, explore. The first thing I did, nobody knew me. I wrote a book. Nobody wanted to print. Every time I go to a publisher, man, throw this damn thing, man. What is this? You go here, you get rejected. The beauty of rejection, it builds your character.
It's like a mystery.
Absolutely, it's amazing. I love getting rejected. It just makes me wild again, want to get out and let's do this. You know what I mean? So I got rejected a lot. So after that, I'm working for myself now. I went for consultancy and I said, you know what? I can fix your project. I know what your problems are. Who do you work for? Myself. And who the hell are you?
Me.
Me. What's your experience? So you sit and talk about your experience. I realized right there, the point, personal brand was not even popular. I realized and I said, wait, the guy just asked me, who are you? And the moment he asked me, who are you? I shrunk. I lacked the confidence of telling who I am because I needed the job.
Well,
So I'm on the weaker side of the aisle. The hell with this thing. I got to be on the strength. So I started working on myself also. So personal brand is not exterior. You see that man or woman that wears a suit with a Rolex watch, leaning on a Porsche or Ferrari, takes a picture, posts it. Oh, great picture. Oh, that's my brand. It has nothing to do with brand. Absolutely. Brand is a purpose, a value, an idea that you bring people together and you take them forward. Absolutely, that's what it is. Steve Jobs changed our lives through cell phones, Mac, and so forth. A lot of people in our world inspired us to be better people. And yet, they didn't care about followers. They cared so much about the value they deliver. And we still remember them today. And when we read quotes about them, we have a smirk on our face. What a great quote. We share the quote. These are brands because they touched people's lives. They impacted us in many ways. I wouldn't be here where I am if it wasn't for Al Rees, for example, somebody who mentored me, someone I read his books. He's gone, but he still lives in my heart. That's a brand. Now, we talked about space management. We talked about what a brand is and so forth. But here's a question I want to ask, and I want you to volunteer, please. I love audience engagement. What stops you from being a brand? Who wants to answer this?
I was gonna get something. I relate to your previous comment. You mentioned like you have a purpose and it drives you forward, but suddenly my brain said that what if your purpose changed? Like what if I'm not able to define my purpose that clearly? Wouldn't we? I mean, maybe that's stopping me from becoming a brand because I'm not sure if this is the purpose I am living right now, or in my career will be different for me.
Everything evolves in life. Change is constant. If change stopped, you and I will be back in the Stone Age. It's constant. Changes. So my purpose when I first was explore, but I maintained it within myself. So when you write a purpose, for example, on a piece of paper or a napkin, and you wrote it, and you put it in your pocket, just like a vision statement, and you put it in your pocket, it absolutely means nothing. You put it in your pocket. You wrote it, but you haven't transitioned it to be part of your life. So when somebody says, I'm an enabler, my purpose is an enabler. Okay, good. How do you apply it? Well, I don't know. In her case, what was your purpose? Empower. She's been doing this for 15 years. And she's added every single day. What fuels her? What pushes her forward? Absolutely, it's not the job. It's the purpose. So the beauty of having a purpose, it changes your life completely. And let me give you an idea of a purpose. Anybody here loves money? Because I love money. We all do, right? Because if you don't tell me you don't like money, that's BS. We all love money. So if your purpose is money, here's the truth. If your purpose is to make money, you will never make money. You'll be broke. Absolutely. You live on the edge every month, every year. Absolutely live on the edge. But when you have a purpose, it breaks down to too many different elements. At the end of the tunnel, you want to be rewarded naturally as a human. But because of all the values you've done, when I meet you at the end of the tunnel, I have a different picture of you. Because of all the things that you've created, then I'm willing to pay you more than what you think you should be paid. But if you have something to sell me, a computer, and the whole time you're speaking about that computer, rather than telling your story and how you created this space and how your brand reflects this place, then I'm going to focus on that computer. I'm going to give you the money for that computer, right? Because you're not part of the story. You are part of the story. We all are part of the story of what we do, what we create, how we live. If you forget that story, remove it because you think you're not a brand, then you're only selling what it's supposed to be sold, which is the transactional. And you're going to keep on selling every day the same thing over and over and over and over for the next 20 years till you get bored. And then when after 20 years, when I ask you, can you tell me your story, what you've been doing in the last 20 years? You're going to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. But if you're a personal brand, you never repeat because you're going to inspire me, inspire everyone else here. See, personal brand is not about you making money. It's about changing your life. It's about empowering yourself and empowering others. I've lived this mission for so long, and trust me, what I'm telling you has an incredible power, an absolute incredible power. But if you focus on values that you deliver, look at your behavior, look how you treat people, look at your presence, how you speak, how you deliver, and then look at your skills. How can you progressively improve your skills? You just cannot depend on a certificate and say, well, you know what, I got a bachelor's degree in marketing. But then you work for an agency, do the same thing every single year. Well, the market dynamics have changed completely. And then you want me or pressure me to pay you what the market is, but I don't see that in you. Whose fault is that? Yours, because you haven't evolved. Same like purpose, you need to evolve. So the market changes and you remain as is. You need to change. Your personal brand brings that perception. Let me give you an example. I've walked into this fashion brand without calling the name in Turkey. The lady the whole time was talking about fabrics, design, cut. The whole time. And she repeated 50,000 times till I got bored the word quality. 50,000 times. I'm struggling with building up a perception. Because design, cut, fabric, and quality, these four are repeated with every fashion brand. So I told her, please, can you just tell me what your story is? She goes, what story do you want? That is a case example why brand is powerful. But if she went back and said, you know what, let me show you where my journey started. I'm buying the idea now, not the piece. Anybody, I'm going to tell you, anybody walked into any Ralph Lauren restaurant in Ralph Lauren stores in Paris or in New York? Anybody here? You have. You have, yeah. When you go to Ralph Lauren, you don't buy products. It's timeless.
Lifestyle.
You're buying lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle is that? It's called the preppy lifestyle. I like how everybody just said, wait a minute. Are we going to pay him a lot of money?
True. Yeah.
See how all of you are so confident of that answer? Now look at yourselves. Now look at yourselves and tell me, would I hire you to come and speak here and pay you $5,000?
Yeah.
No, I like her confidence. She said yes. Right? You will, right? $5,000.
I think I have started.
I love that story. And I love that confidence. What you need to do now is craft that story, find out your values, what that single idea you stand for. What do you do for work? Your job, what do you do?
I'm a lawyer, but like general counsel.
A lawyer.
So I'm a lawyer, but I want to define myself as a general counsel. Like I'm a consultant like you, but I'm a legal counsel.
Okay. So move away from legal consultant. Let that be the job. Now you become on top of it and find that so unique about you that I'm sure 100% is there. So powerful about you. Start from there, then say at the end, I'm a legal consultant. But when you start with legal consultant, what happens? Oh, okay, another legal consultant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So you don't want to give something that's functional. You need to give something that's emotional, inspiring. So when you start with inspiring, there's a story. When there's a story, there's an emotional values. From emotional value, you cascade down to your title. When you cascade down to your title, you've already captured everyone's heart and mind. And automatically, this guy's impressive. Oh, she can talk. Wow. Once she's done, I'm going to talk to her, take her business card. The brain is working. But the moment I meet you and you tell me, hi, I'm a saleswoman, there'll be a mental pause because you started with a function.
Yeah.
So the question is, when you say I'm a saleswoman or I'm a counsel lawyer, what are you selling me? Exactly. Mental pause. Start with your story. Sell you, me. Then what you do. But when you start with what you do, it's like everyone else does it. It doesn't work. So we have price points. So you're a CEO of a company, and that company is doing a remarkable job across the world. Turkey has many fabrics and so forth. And the moment you introduce yourself, you say, I'm a CEO of this company. CEO, the company. That's both are functional. Both are functional. So now, even when you come and introduce your stuff, and you tell me each fabric will cost about $1,000, I'm not bothered. I'm not going to buy. It's all functional. It's as simple as that. How many of you here have iPhones? Anybody? iPhone? 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 All of you, right? Can you give me one single reason why you have an iPhone? Thank you. I rest. Huh? What was it?
Simple.
It's simple. That is one of, yeah, that's one of the most important attributes of Apple. We call it the unique selling proposition, which is simple. Simplicity. Great. The whole ecosystem. What else?
I like the
You like the brand? Okay.
data protection has a better perception.
All right. I like these practical people. Yeah. So in the case when you go to dinner, let's say I'll pick a location. Think about Ralph Lauren Paris. It's a restaurant. You have an iPhone 16. You're very confident on the phone. You put it next to you. What happens to the guy who's got Samsung and Apple? Most probably he's not going to put it on the table. Right? Probably in the pocket. Ah, come on. We know this. Go to look, everybody with an iPhone is out. Everyone with Samsung is not. So why is that? Because Apple is a lifestyle brand. Samsung, Apple are products. Apple does not sell you a phone, does not sell you a Mac, does not sell you innovation. They sell you pretty. Your iPhone, your LV bag, and you look pretty, you look beautiful, right? And it gives you also confidence. It boosts your confidence.
Same with the A1.
iMac, yeah. It boosts your confidence. Absolutely. It adds value to you, lifestyle, you look good, suits and everything, right? Great. I love that. So the second question is, that's everything exterior, right? It adds value to you. Where are you?
There is someone.
That is the most important part that completes that journey of the exterior. It's to work on yourselves. Absolutely to work on yourselves. Now, I'm going to say something very, very, very crucial that I spoke about 2 weeks ago. And this is very important. I did this in Berlin. If you don't change today, and I'm telling you from my heart, is that the AC? Thank God Almighty. Oh, no, that's all right. I'm going to say something very important to you, extremely important. And I'm telling you this from my heart. If you don't start today, with how AI and digitalization is manifesting in our lives, if you don't start today, you have no space tomorrow. You don't. You will not. And it's not about your Harvard. It's not about your skills. And I'm going to give you an example of Harvard. It's not about Harvard. It's not about going to Yale. It's not about going to Columbia. It's not about being an American. It's not about being a German. And it's not about being from Turkey or from Nigeria. It's you. It's you. If you ever think that you have this inferiority complex of your nationality or your job, you cannot become a brand. You need a life coach. So which one of those two is the brand? The guy from Nigeria, right? Absolutely. So when you think of brand, don't think about followers. Don't think about how many people know me. Are you famous? These are cliches. You don't need to be famous. You don't. You only need people within your space you work in, know you well, trust you, willing to get engaged with you, willing to buy from you, willing to repeat that buy again from you, willing to continue knowing you for years, inviting you to occasions and so forth. That is what makes you a brand. But if I buy once from you, or I invite you to speak once and I never bother coming back, or never invite you back, that was transactional. Brand is about building relationships. In today's world, building relationship, by far, is extremely crucial. You're a legal counsel, right? So eventually you're going to work for yourself?
And I don't know. Maybe, yes.
Okay. How important is it to repeat clients?
It's fine, Dorothy.
Okay. Are you able to do that without being a brand?
I didn't try it.
You're struggling.
No, I tried.
You're trying. Okay. How long has your organization been around?
Oh, now I work at the university site, so.
Oh. Oh, okay. So there's repetition, reputation, and so forth. Okay. But imagine if you go alone tomorrow and you start your own business as a legal counsel. You'll have to build a community, right? They need to trust you, right? And you need to be credible. It's people's lives. They're either going to go to jail or they're going to be out of jail, right? In order to do that, to trust you, they need to know you, right? They need to know what you did, how you did it. That's your story. But saying I'm a legal counsel and this is my certificate, doesn't build trust at all. Credibility and trust are the two most powerful things in brand, in your personal brand. I hope I have delivered. And if there's any questions I can take, I'll be more than happy to take. And I really hope that you start today more than ever. Take my word. Been through 3 continents, through every airport. Been living this. I've lived it. I know what it means. I know the power of it. And not a lot of people tell you this power, because there's only few people that know this power. Intellectual competency is the currency of today. The more knowledgeable you are, the more you can speak and deliver, your price goes up more than what you sell. Being around rich-minded people, much better than being around rich people with empty brains. You know, it's very important. I'm telling you, I cannot sit down with someone who has zero knowledge for 5 minutes. I'll be rude. I'll say, thank you very much. So the more you get engaged, the more you learn about people, the more you evolve, the richer you become. You yourself, you become much richer. Your wealth is here, not here. It's here. If this is zero, this will always remain zero, and then transactional. Be rich internally. So in my case, in her case, empower, explore. That purpose leads everything I do. My travels, my work, my creativity. If a client comes and tells me, well, we want to just change this, I won't change it. Because I'm an explorer. My purpose is explorer. I'm not a tweaker. You know, I don't do it for money. I do it because I love it. I do it because of my purpose drives me. It fuels me. So if you have clarity on that purpose itself and manifest very well in your life, then everything that you talked about from the micro level will not matter. But what's the problem here? I have to say this, is that we write words, we understand the words, we put them in our head, but we don't create the meaning to them, so they don't live in us. So example, what's my purpose? Explorer. If it doesn't transition that word into a meaning in my life, it's just a word. Then everything I do at a macro level in which you discussed I'll be all over the place because it doesn't live in me. My brand is defined by one word: eccentric. I'm eccentric by nature. I'm out of the box kind of guy. I embrace that truth. I love it. I celebrate it. So when you look the purpose explorer and you look the brand definition, my brand definition, as an eccentric, and you put them together, it's an open world. And I can prove I hate borders. I don't believe in passports. I don't believe in countries. I just walk wherever I want to go. So what I'm trying to say is this. Once you start from in, confidence gets built. You own your story. Once you start from outside and you start depending on aesthetics, your mobile phone, your friend who lives here, let's go to this place, is very popular. You're part of a narrative that's fueled to go without having an identity. Imagine living all your life without an identity. What's the purpose of your living? Why do you exist? Why do you do what you do? What do you wake up in the morning for? Might as well just sleep. You have no purpose.
Yeah.
Why you hang out with your friends? Because they're going to, you don't have a purpose. Or you have a problem saying, no, I don't like it. Or you have a problem saying, yes, I like it. No, I don't like it. Oh, I don't want to hurt them. That's being politically correct, right? Being politically correct means sugarcoating things and you're lying. It's fine to say I don't like it. It's not the end of the world. Any other questions? Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.